and I'm here with Kyron Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Four Tales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie to level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, children of all ages, Mr. Fish Comics, in collaborations with Fourth Wall Productions, respectfully brings to you the 203rd episode of the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Mr. Fish of Mr. Fish Comics, and across the way is the Amethyst author, Danny J. Quick, and together we are you two award-winning comic book creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live via Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast. All of your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. That was fun to do.
That was excellent. That was way better than the time I tried to do it.
Can you believe it's been 203 episodes, Danny? It feels like we just started this journey yesterday.
It feels like
203.
We're already at 203 episodes. Wow. It's like it just started yesterday. But no, man, thank you for being here. For the folks watching, you may realize Kyron's not here. I usually don't do this show without Kyron, and thankfully, Mr. Fish subbed in for him. He is now officially. I want to say you're the only person to do both sides of the show.
Yes,
so
finally, I get up in the top of the ratings for something. I will take it. If it's not the most often guest or the most obnoxious in the comments, which I think I deserve, then it is I'm the first one to get to do both sides of this show, which was a lot of fun. Fish Takes was so much fun, and I almost thought about sneaking in that sound to the video, but I decided not to do it. But
hey, I would have
made a song and everything, man. That was a lot of fun.
I think it's mentioned now that you mentioned the song, listening to the intro, I'll be sad if I have to do a new one, since we haven't announced anything yet, but I'll be sad if I have to do a new one because I've gotten used to listening to that. But how you been doing, Mr. Fish?
I have. I am alive. I am blessed and highly favored of the Lord, no matter how I look or feel. At the moment, things are, I am here, man. It doesn't matter if I have been sleeping. It doesn't matter if I have been accomplishing much. I have been online a lot. Almost every single day this weekend, I have been on a podcast or a live stream and been talking about things that are going on, like the Roll for Hero Kickstarter for the handbook and the mini comic that is coming up in August. Get the handbook and get to do Roll for Hero at home yourself. It's got tables and charts for rolling up your characters like we do on our show. And we're going to make a mini comic together with the backers. All the backers from the $5 digital tier on up are going to get links to all of the live streams that we do, extra live streams during the week that are just for the backers. And we're going to hang out. We're going to roll up new characters. We're going to create a whole new story. And we're going to create a new mini comic that you get to take part of for as little as $5. So come on, hang out, check it out. Go to gomrfish.com and sign up for the pre-launch page. That's what I've been doing.
I love the Roll for Hero, man. It's like every time you do it, I'm like astonished at how quickly and succinctly you can put together a character from literally the most random circumstances. Like
random. And they will come out so crazy and so wild sometimes, but they're so much fun. And sometimes the weirdest prompts give us the most interesting characters. And there's very rarely a week goes by on the show that I'm not killing myself that I can't make a book about this new character that we just came up with, but I can't make a new book every week. I mean, I can do a lot, but that's a lot. So
just
that's
had
what
a
I'm looking
few.
forward to with this Kickstarter. We get to actually make one, and we're going to walk you through how to make like your own like ashcan comics at home. So if you have ever wanted to get started making comics, this would be a really good Kickstarter to get in on, because we're going to go through the whole 9 yards, page layouts, lettering, stapling, binding, cutting, trimming, the whole 9 yards. So
Nice, nice.
check it out.
I just had an idea for the book that we're going to do together, and one of the alien races is going to be a role for alien race, and literally that's going to be how they reproduce is 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 that way. So, but before I have too many more ideas, we have an amazing guest this weekend. We she was a former cosmetologist. My wife is a cosmetologist. She is a SFX artist, an author, a YouTuber, and the the creator of Veiled Legacy. We've got Miss Dani Soncasie on the show.
I'm so glad you said that and not me.
Did I get it?
Welcome.
Was I close? No.
I mean, you did better than I would have done. So I'm giving you credit for it, even if she doesn't.
You know what? I'm going to give you props for having the huevos for trying.
He
Soncasie.
gave it his all.
Soncasie.
See, I'm telling you, I just need to get this man to marry me so I can have his
Yes.
name. Like just
Damn.
give me your name.
No, I wanna get it right. That's one thing that that's why we put it in the survey. We try to get it right, and we even asked you, and I still messed it up. I tried to do it because
Listen,
so that you didn't have to.
You know
but I
what?
still messed it up.
I'm
Well,
so grateful.
anecdote. We'll open with an anecdote. So I was going to get an X-ray at a local, place, and I have to point this out real quick. How does my background just match perfectly?
Right.
Yours? Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I went to go get this X-ray, and I'm sitting at the check-in counter, with the insurance. You go and you register and all that, and she asks me. She's like 12 inches from my face. Asks me like 6 times. Every time she says my name, she says it some crazy whack way, like Soncasie, Soncasie, Sansusi, Sandcastle, something wild like that. I have gotten mail for Danielle Sandcastle before. That is not a hyperbole. So anyway, she keeps like mispronouncing it. I'm sitting right there, telling her each time I'm correcting her, and she calls down to X-ray, hands me a piece of paper. I don't even bother to look at it. I'm like, okay. So I just walk down there, and I get there, and the chick looks at me, and she looks at the paper, and she looks back at me, and she goes, "So you're not a dude?" I started laughing. I choked up, and I was like, "Well, I mean, no." Last I checked, and she says, "Well, she said that Darnell Sanchez was coming down for an X-ray." So it's become a whole thing. If you stick around for the end credits for any of my videos, the executive producer for everything on my channel is Darnell Sanchez.
Okay.
You can look him up on all the socials. Darnell Sanchez has his own social media profiles.
I love that. I love
So-
that. So,
Anytime I'm feeling froggy, want to do something stupid, I log in as Darnell Sanchez.
Darnell
Oh.
Sanchez.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. I thought I'd gotten a lot of crap about my name, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
that is. So for anybody in our audience who might not be familiar with you, would you give us a quick rundown of your history in comics or in storytelling, and tell us what you're here to talk about?
So my name is Dani Soncasie, and I am the host of a YouTube channel called Comics and used to be called Comics and Cosmetics. I started out doing comic character story, whatever breakdowns while doing my makeup at the same time. I never talk about the makeup ever. It's just something I'm doing with my hands while I'm telling a story. So I started off doing that, but after some time, the channel just grew and kind of took on a life of its own. I became a little bit of like a pundit, I live stream through the week as well, like 3 days a week. I have 2 shows. I have Daily Dose of Dork, which is twice a week. And then I also have Plot Holes and Payoffs, which I do on Thursdays with my best friend, editor, and, I mean, twin. We're practically the same person. We do that on Thursdays, and we talk about filmmaking and reviews and stuff like that. And one day we do want to make our own film. And like I said, she's my editor. So 20 something years ago, I wrote a book called One Foot in Darkness. And it was about a superhero vampire slayer with a weaponized prosthetic leg. Why do I have her with a weaponized prosthetic leg? Because I myself am an amputee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up a disabled kid in Shriners Hospital in St. Louis. I have multiple orthopedic disabilities. Like my whole skeleton is way too small. I have like child-sized bones, which has not worked out for me in the weight department. Trust me. I was like, oh, I have tiny bones. Really? Like, no, you're just going to be like, it's fine. So anyway.
We're gonna put a full-size woman on a tiny skeleton. Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
work.
like, yeah, it'll be fine. You won't feel any pain. Anyway,
It's not any better if you get the extra large skeleton. Trust me, it's just as bad on this side.
So I spent like literally my entire childhood in being pretty much Rocket Raccoon in Guardians Volume 3. Cut apart, put back together, things stretched, whatever. Whole childhood, and then I grew up and I had 4 kids, and I'm always big fan of comic books. When I was in the hospital, that's where I got into comic books. It was a great way to escape. Superheroes are cool. Hot dudes in tights, hot chicks in tights. I mean, what could go wrong? What's not to love? So I've always loved vampires and horror, like classic monster stuff, and Buffy, Anne Rice, Christopher Pike, all that stuff. And I just had an idea one day, wrote it down. Well, I flash forward, I've raised a bunch of kids and done it by doing hair, and eventually I had to retire because of my disabilities. They got too much on the itty bitty skeleton, and couldn't be on my feet because apparently doing hair on your feet up to 16 hours a day, not a good idea when you only have one leg and a broken skeleton. Who knew? So
Crazy, wild.
Yeah, wild. Would have never guessed. So I started doing YouTube at my husband's behest. He was like, you know what? You should do this thing like that Bailey Sarian chick. You should just paint your face. Well, talk about cartoon characters. Why not? And that afforded me some pretty awesome opportunities. I met some really, really cool people, and I got to do a couple bucket list things. I got to start doing special effects, and I met some really amazing people who are connected with and work for Ripaverse. And after connecting with a couple of artists that ghosted on me completely for about a year, I met Caro, who is my best friend and co-host I told you about. And I said, I just have a couple of questions. I have this book I published 23 years ago, and it was always meant to be a graphic novel, but I don't know the first daggum thing what I'm supposed to do to turn this into a comic book. Like, I love comic books, but I've spent the last million years being a mom and doing hair. So can you answer a couple questions? She's like, I'd love to. Just send me your script. And I was like,
I have a whole book. As the artist, you don't want to get that.
No. So I send her the script that I had, kind of me on my own, like, I'm just going to figure this out. I was just like, here we go. She said, like the next day she texted me and she says, we need a meeting like now. And I'm like, this could either be a very good thing or a very bad thing. Like, she's gonna let me down right away. Like, honey, this is not for you.
How dare you bring this nonsense to me?
she's gonna be like, listen, I'm telling you that this out of love, you need a new hobby. Like, I just don't want you to waste any more time. So
why do we always assume the worst though? Why do we always assume the worst?
well, because why on earth would I think this cosmetologist mom of 20 almost 25 years who lives in Southeast Missouri think that she's got a good thing going on here straight out the gate, never known nothing in the whole wide world, little baby in a bassinet looking at her baby Einstein tapes, don't know nothing. Sorry, I just went full Ricky Bobby.
We always assume
but
that we're not as special as the people doing it, instead of realizing none of them are special. They just did it. And
what's funny that you say that, because when we had the meeting, she said, first, I want to say that I feel like your whole life you've been told that you're a $1 person when you're actually a $1 million person. Because for someone who says they don't know what the hell they're doing, you are off to one heck of an amazing start. And I was like, hold on, let me write this down, circle it, underline it, and point arrows at it, because you've just made my lifetime. I would have never guessed in 1,000 years. Yeah.
Put
like,
this on my mirror.
Hanging right there.
When I go in the morning. Exactly.
Right. And she will every once in a while remind me. She's like, what did I say the first time I talked to you? Like our first meeting. What did I say? So I thought, she gave me some notes. She gave me some really amazing suggestions. And the way she gave, and I thought I was going to get my butt hurt like right away. Because when I wrote my book, I'm pretty sure that the publisher I had was some kind of front for the mob or whatever, like some kind of money laundering.
I heard you talk about that in another interview before. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Like Google Publish America or American Star Publishing or whatever it was called, because those people, I am not alone in that. Like, I'm not the only one. Like, there's a lot of people that have said the same thing. Their idea of editing was they held on to my manuscript for about 9 months. And they did spell check. And even then they missed things. And I was like, hold on, I just went through this again and I found stuff. What have you been doing for 9 months?
Right.
I mean, for real. But this was back in like 2003, 2004 as well. I'm not making excuses, because like any idiot knows, like, except me, apparently, at 23, 24 years old, I did not know. So I had an idea of editor. I was very scared. And I meet with her and I start hearing her suggestions. And they were basically just questions, where do you see this go? How do you see this character? What's his motivation, kind of thing? And how do you want people to feel? What do you want their takeaway to be? What do you want them to walk away with? And what are 3 other books that people would like that, you think would pick up this comic? And just have a lot of questions. Like, she knew the right buttons to press in my brain. That, she's like, I really want to push your boundaries here. Like, I really want you to test yourself. And I thought it took me like a week or two to get the rewrite done, to get the final script. And we were doing a show together, and she was like, no, that it took you 2 days. She's like, you emailed me back in 2 days and you were like, here it is. And it was solid. So I was like, this has got to be a fluke. This has got to be an absolute fluke. But everything has just kind of, it's been about a year now since, or it's coming up on a year where we have connected, and, we started working on this. And the little tiny baby seed that was 1 foot in darkness has now grown into an orchard, a
Yeah.
forest. The Veiled Legacy, the comic series, is
Yeah.
a forest compared to 1 foot in darkness is just this little seed. Like, it has just exploded. The lore, everything. Even now, I'm getting ready to start my third round of rewrites on like, because I went back to prose. Getting ready to start my third round of rewrites on a series of novellas that are going to come out on Amazon Kindle that are
Okay.
in universe to the comic books, but they're prequels. They are set because I like to be difficult, um, mostly for myself. They are set 2,500 years before the events of Midwest Gothic in ancient Greece, and they are,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
because
that's
they're
not
my
a
iceberg.
that's a prequel. That's not that's not just
Uh-huh.
That's a way back
Mhm.
one right there.
Yeah. It's my iceberg. It is how it's the events leading up to the how the first vampire hunter and the
Mhm.
Brotherhood of Abraxas came into existence in my universe. So the way I have written this is that it's called The Last Dance of the Hesperides. That's the novella series. So Last Dance of the Hesperides and Midwest Gothic, they can be enjoyed totally separately. You don't have to read one to understand the other. I don't want to do that to
Mhm.
people. I don't want to MCU people and you're like, no, you have to watch 43
Mhm.
movies, 278 TV shows, and read 286 books to understand what's going on in this little short film that's getting ready to come out. So you better start your homework now.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to enjoy them either separately or together. So the way I've written it is it's just like this added layer of lore. So if you do check out Last Dance of the Hesperides and then you pick up, Midwest Gothic, there are things because I love Easter eggs. Okay. That's who I am. And you're going to flip it open and see a couple panels and be like, oh, I think I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. But
I love that
I
stuff.
Nice.
yeah, as
I love we're comic book people are all Easter egg people.
mhm,
Well, a lot of us are. So, I do want to ask you something though. I was looking at your character design, for Emma Hogan, right?
mhm.
And first of all, shout out to you for the stake launcher. I think a stake launcher makes more sense than a machine gun. And I know that I heard you say that you made your prosthetic stake launcher a couple years before we saw it in what was it, Death Race? I don't remember the name of that
Yeah.
movie, but yeah,
Up yours, Quentin Tarantino, Planet Terror.
right.
Yeah.
But I want to ask about the necklace because anytime that I've done character
Mhm,
designs like this, if I
mhm,
include something as small as a necklace, it means something. So
mhm.
since you're talking about Easter eggs, can you tell us what the necklace means?
My artist created that.
Okay,
His name
all
is
right.
Evan Scale. And remember how I said that things were just kind of lining up?
Mhm.
Um, Evan is Greek.
Okay.
And
Oh,
all my stuff, my lore, my vampires magic is based in ancient Greek mythology. Like, it all
Okay.
starts in ancient Greece. And when Caro was introducing us, because Caro and Evan have worked on projects together before, they have a comic series called Dirty Deeds. She said, hey, by the way, he's Greek. And I was like, shut your face. And she's like, surprise. Um, he has actually created a couple of things, like, just he's like, do you mind if I like create a little, jewelry for him? And I was like, go for it. Why not? I didn't think about that. I'm a girl. And I didn't think about, adding, giving him a necklace or something. And I'm not wearing one. And he did. And I saw that. And I'm gonna shut my mouth because I almost just like let something slip. There's something about the necklace that he did that is just, I was
Hey,
like, I
feel free. You can tell
can
us.
use that. No,
This is spoiler territory here. Danny
Yeah,
is
this is a
an
spoiler.
early pioneer of the spoiler.
you got to spend at least $10 to get that question
Get that
answered.
information, right.
Yeah. So, but he did do something to the necklace that I was like, that can be used. And he's done that a couple of times. Like he did something with who's actually my favorite character. Her name is Layla. She doesn't show up until book 2, unfortunately, and that book's called The Gospel of Layla Fellows. I know Emma's supposed to be my favorite character because she's the main protagonist,
That's not
and
how it
she's
works. That's not
yeah.
how it works.
But Layla she is my unfiltered mouth. She is my sass. She is my sarcasm, my sense of, she's all of that. And he created something for her that ended up becoming a plot point, like becoming something important. And I was like, Evan, you are on fire, man. Like you're really good at this. Like this is why you're so in demand.
No, I love
That's
that.
the important thing about finding a good artist whose imagination runs on the same tracks yours does, likes the same things you like. That lets you jump off and do really cool stuff and add to what's making this awesome to start with, instead of finding somebody who say cheap, or somebody who you like their artwork but like they do westerns and I want to do sci-fi, so let me
Yeah.
just force you over here into this. Like, find somebody who really likes what you're doing and gets into that, and you're going to get
Yes.
so much more bang for your buck.
Dude, when he did our first splash page, I cried. And I made this, I wrote this 23 years ago. Right after I gave birth. Like right after I had my oldest daughter, who by the way, her name is Emma. Um everyone is named after like a child or something. Like but I wrote this so long ago and it's just lived in my head this whole time. And he drew that splash page and he sent it to me and I just fell to pieces. I said, it's like you just pulled it out of my brain. Like you just pulled it out of my brain. And he said, well, you're so descriptive. Like, stop being humble. Stop being so Catholic. No. That's
Yeah,
talent. Like,
these
not
artists,
everybody can do that.
Fish Lee is the same way. I always try to tell him like you saw it in the intro. He was talking about how he's just able to put these characters together. He's like, oh, this is just. I'm like, no, this is not something that regular people can do. You are on a different level, and they
No.
just try to be so humble.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also
And
it's normal to us to be able to do this. So I forget that like watching us draw seems like magic to other people because it's what I do all day long. And then I go to like a convention and people are gathering around watching me draw, like, wow, did you draw that? Like, well, I'm the one with the pen in my hand, putting it to the paper as we speak. So yeah, I did, as a matter of fact.
Right.
when I was a kid, when I was younger, I drew all the time. Like I still have my artist bump on my bird finger.
Mhm.
And like constantly my younger sister's like, I just remember your bedroom walls being wallpapered with Anne Rice characters that you would and Greek goddesses. Lots of Greek goddesses. I've always been obsessed with Greek mythology. And the last time I actually really sketched were my 3 protagonists from One Foot in Darkness 20 something years ago when my kids were little. But I became a single mom. I had 4 kids at home and I was a hairstylist. I eventually had my own salon. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like I had no time for anything.
All of that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And constantly, all the parenting. fun, you know, constant, constant stuff. And now I have a wonderful, wonderful, supportive, patient, patient partner in life. And he built this whole studio for me. The YouTube channel was his idea. Me getting back into writing was his idea. And, I mean, he was like, "Listen, you should just you should write again." I'm like, all that. And he said, "Why not?"
A
You
supportive
know,
partner makes all the difference in the world, and an
it
unsupportive one makes
really,
all the difference in the world. I've been
Yes,
on both
I've,
sides.
also true.
yes, yes,
That's
yes,
also true. Okay.
absolutely.
All right, Miss Danny. All right. It's time for my favorite part of the show. We're going to do some
Ooh.
quick takes. Fish, whenever you're ready, sir.
Quick takes.
All right. So, if you haven't seen the show before, Quick Takes is a rapid fire Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. I'm just joking. These
Oh.
these questions are just for our listeners and watchers to get to know you a little bit better. We're gonna ask you 5 questions, and you're gonna have 45 seconds each to answer them. Okay.
Okay.
Question number one. I've heard you talk about your editor um, in comics and how much work and how well you two work together. I myself, I believe that my work in comics has been so much better since I started getting an editor. So, in 45 seconds, why are editors needed in comics?
Because writers are squirrels at a rave with on all kinds of drugs, and without a leash, and are blind, and just woo. So what you really need is a babysitter, and well, not necessarily a babysitter, but just someone to kind of guide you to the bathroom and say, "It's okay, girl. Let me just clean your face up." So you need someone who can just kind of guide you through the mess of your own creative brain.
That is a really good answer because if it wasn't for my editor, I would be all over the place for real. Um,
Someone to hold your hair back while you spew out ideas. That's what I heard.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said.
there we go. Okay, so question number two. Um, I myself, I'm an Army veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. Fish Lee has shared his disability, and you also have shared your disability in your journey in comics. I want to know, in your opinion, how does your disability make a difference?
Well, that's a really weird one because I don't know any different. I was born this way.
Mhm.
I do know that I'm very different from other people, the way I see things. I do know that I've had to work a lot harder my whole life. So I think it's made a difference in the fact that I have a very strong work ethic and that I want it. I want it more than anything, and that comics have made a very big difference in my life. They saved my life very, very literally. So maybe the disability did make a difference in the fact that I have a different perspective.
There it is. There it is. I love that answer. Okay,
And
question
I
number
was an
two.
army wife. I was an active duty army wife for many years. So
There we go.
thank you
Yeah.
for your service.
No, thank you. Thank you. Question number three. Fish, how many kids do you have again?
Oh goodness! If we're counting the daughter-in-laws, I think we're like 8 or something now.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Whoa!
Okay. I have
Sorry, that's not often I find someone who has more children than me.
I have four, and I know you mentioned that you have four children. But there's a myth about uh, three or more kids that it's all the same. You have one kid, and then two kids throws you into a loop, but then three and everything above that is all the same. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree with that, and why not? Why?
Over 3 kids, you're basically a bouncer. Um, they're all completely different. I don't
Mhm.
care what anybody says. Every parent has a completely different journey, and each you're not going to be able to parent each kid the same. They're all their own special little person or big person, whoever they are, and you're just going to have your own hair pulling crazy experience with which each of those kids. Some are super easy, some are super difficult. My youngest has been a freaking dream, and the Lord in his infinite wisdom knew that I needed that. So big ups
Knew I
to you,
needed a
Jesus.
break.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. My first and my last one are like pretty great. Those two middle ones though, they're like, oh.
Hey, you had to throw some trials in there for you.
Oh, got to keep you on the toes.
Yeah, for sure. All
I
right,
only have 5. Like, calm down there, God.
come on, Fish, get it together. All right, question number 4. This is something I never thought I would ask anybody, but how did you find Amish vampire fans?
I don't know if I found Amish vampire fans yet, but the Amish vampires came from the editor. Get a good editor, kids. So the book was written in 20-something years ago, before cell phones were super, super duper common. It wouldn't have been a big surprise that someone shows up at your house with a broke down car and didn't have a cell phone and wanted to ask to use your phone to call for a tow truck or something. So originally they were just a couple of little rich, smarmy douchebags in polo shirts. But because we're where we are now and everyone has a computer in their pocket, Caro's like, what if they were Amish? And I said, makes sense. It's in Southeast Missouri. We have a very large Amish community, and it just went from there. By the way, the Mennonite community here where I live found it hilarious.
And you throw in the reclusiveness and stuff. There's all kinds of fun stuff to play with there. That's brilliant.
Oh, it has become a whole thing, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And Caro told me that when I sent the draft back with the Amish dialogue, like the Amish men speaking, she's like, I had to look some. She's like, I'm watching my language. I'm usually like total sailor. She's like, I had to look stuff up because I was like, I got to make sure this is accurate. And she's like, oh, I'll be damned. Like, she's got this like nailed. And I'm like, I grew up in Shriners with an Amish roommate. Mm-hmm. Like there the fact that she suggested it was just like, wait, no, you just said that. I'm actually familiar. Had an Amish roommate, and there's a huge Amish community where I live. Like, I'm fully aware. Let's go. So
all the pieces lining up. All the pieces are lining up. Okay, so question number 5. And for question number 5, we always do a top 5 list. We have our guests do a top 5 list off the top of their head. I saw recently
that.
I saw that you did a video about my favorite Green Lantern. I won't name that Green Lantern, but you did. So I want to know, in your opinion, who are the top 5 best Green Lanterns?
Oh, that one's easy. Okay, so I have to count though. Okay, so bottom is we're gonna say Jessica Cruz. Come on. I mean, she has an interesting story. She has an interesting story. Like, they really could have done something with that. But so Jessica Cruz, Guy Gardner. No, Kyle Rayner. See, I told you I'm going to have trouble. Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, baby.
Okay.
John Stewart, number 1. Numero uno.
I didn't think you were going to get in time on that, but you did. I'm proud of you.
John Stewart is number 1. I think Jessica needs some more stories, but
she does. She needs a good writer. See, there you go. That's my baby.
Yeah, there we go. That's a collector right there. Come on now. Okay.
Right there within arm's reach.
Thank you so much for doing that. This time, Quick Takes has been sponsored by LoreCon. It's going to be taking place the 3rd weekend in September. So y'all make sure y'all come out and see us at LoreCon in Durham, North Carolina. All right, Fish, back to you.
Okay, I don't know what to do now. I've worked so hard to make sure I was prepped for everything through that point. I don't know what to do now. I don't have an outro or anything prepared. I worked really hard to get that down.
No, you did it. You did. Hey, you did great. And as I was
nailing this. This is fantastic.
As I was saying, Fish, back to you, I realized you don't know how to close the show. You don't know to close the show. So, Miss Dani, I want to thank you for coming. You've been a great guest. I'm looking forward to reading your comics, your graphic novels. I subscribe to your YouTube. I'll be checking out your content.
Thank
But before we
you.
go, we always want our listeners to be able to keep up with you. So where can we send people to check you out online?
Oh, well, I'm like a venereal disease. I'm everywhere and hard to get rid of. If there is a social media platform, just type in Comics and I am there. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube. Like YouTube is the main show. I am there Wednesday through Friday live. Fridays we're looking at making members only because our membership is growing and I'm tired. I can't do an extra day. I can't do an extra day. Our membership is growing. We have the two big ones on Wednesdays and Thursday as it is. And I do a lot of writing the rest of the week. Also, I'm on Twitter a lot of the time, Instagram, Facebook. Like if you really want to keep up with what's going on with the show, what's going on with the comic, those are great places. Patreon is a great place to see what's going on with the comic book. Exclusively behind the scenes. It's the only place you can get behind the scenes stuff going on right now. And right now we have a really big poll going on at the Patreon. We are picking a cover. We're picking our first cover. So if you go on over to the Patreon, we have 4 different tiers, as little as $3. So just $3 a month, you can help pick out our first cover. You're going to get all the behind the scenes access. And I mean, you even get to see my line edits from Caro. You get to see all the rough sketches and thumbnails from Evan, all the line work, all the preview stuff. I have my first draft of book 2. The book 2 script is on there. Exclusively, it's the only place you can get Veiled Legacy merch. And you get that every 3 months for free for the first year of your membership. And on top of everything, every Friday, I post a video letting you know what's going on, just kind of like me hanging out, being myself, just being real with you, saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm working on. This is where we're at. This is what I'm thinking about. And it's because Veiled Legacy is now an expanded universe into the novellas with Last Dance of the Hesperides. That's including that stuff too. So you get a lot over at the Patreon, and I do my best to keep up with it because I am one person keeping up with the YouTube channel and the comic book, the novellas, and all of the platforms, as well as my website that's scrolling across your screen. So those are great places to keep up with all of that. And if you need to find all those links, just go to comics-and.com and you'll find all of it, including the merch stores, my special effects portfolio, some of my movie reviews, and ways to get a hold of me.
I love it. I love it. So y'all make sure y'all check her out. And if you want to keep up with me right now, we got a Kickstarter going for Ace Blade 1 through 10. So go over on to Kickstarter and check us out. If you want to find me online, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Mr. Fish, where can people find you?
You can find me at Mr. Fish Comics on all social media. TikTok and YouTube are some of my primary ones, but I'm on all of them. And you can go to GoMrFish.com to check out the pre-launch page for Roll for Hero for the handbook and the mini comic that we're going to make together. So come hang out, check it out. We will see you there.
There we go. We want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. We are going to be back next week. We're going to actually do a midweek post because me and Kyron have some news that we're going to share with folks. But until next time, stay vigilant, my friends. We are out of here.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.